Hello everyone. Today we will be discussing about a chief physiological process which is continuously occurring inside human body, that is the circulatory system. This is also known as the blood vascular system and the cardiovascular system. Cardio, which means the heart. As the chief organs included in this system are the heart, blood vessel and blood, the name suggests so. The topics we will be discussing today is the introduction, the basic features of double circulations, the chief organs involved in this process, and the advantages of this system. As I told earlier, this process or this system is also known as the cardiovascular system or blood vascular system. Different types of organisms show different types of circulatory system. In humans, it is double circulatory system because the blood passes through the heart 2 times to complete one complete blood flow. So this is known as double circulatory system. The major advantage of this process is the transport of gases, that is the oxygen and carbon dioxide, nutrients and different hormones, and it also transport cellular waste products throughout the body. So, the features of this system. The system consists of 3 interrelated components like blood, heart and blood vessels. Human heart is divided into 4 chambers, that is the 2 auricle and 2 ventricles. This is the diagram or pictorial presentation of a typical human heart. This is the left lung, this is the right lung, this is the diaphragm. So, what is the situation of heart? The heart is situated in between 2 lungs, slightly left above the diaphragm. This is a thin cross section of a heart muscle or heart tissue. The heart muscle is known as myocardium. The outer membrane of the heart is known as the pericardium, and this is the pericardial cavity. This is another diagram of heart. This is the left atrium, this is the right atrium, this is the right ventricle, and this is the left ventricle. This is inferior vena cava, this is superior vena cava. This is pulmonary artery and this is the pulmonary vein. Topic we will be discussing today. Okay. Now, the double circulation involves the flow of oxygenated blood throughout the body and collection of the deoxygenated blood from different organs of the body to the heart. As you can see, this is the graphical representation of double circulation in humans. It contains 2 loops. You can see one is darkened and one is slightly darkened. Okay. In the first loop, the deoxygenated blood from the right atrium enters to the right ventricle, then through the pulmonary artery the deoxygenated blood enters to the lungs. In the lungs, the blood is purified, that is oxygenated. Then through the pulmonary vein, it enters to the left atrium. This circuit is known as the pulmonary circulation, as the pulmonary vein and pulmonary artery is involved in this process. Here it completes the first circuit. Then in the second circuit, the oxygenated blood from the left atrium enters into the left ventricle, and then through aorta it goes to different parts of the body. That is, the oxygenated blood is distributed throughout the body parts. Then again the deoxygenated deoxygenated bloods from different parts of the body is collected and enters the right atrium through the vena cava. This circulation is known as the systemic circulation. So the whole circulation is divided into pulmonary circulation and systemic circulation and consists of two loops. That is why the whole process is named as the double circulation. The blood is a chief connective tissue which contains liquid extracellular matrix and the formed elements. The formed elements include cells and cell fragments, that is the RBC, WBC and the platelets. The alkaline nature of the blood, the pH ranges from 7.3 to 7.4. The blood cells include the RBC or erythrocyte. Erythros means red. So the red blood cells, they transport oxygen and carbon dioxide throughout the body. Then comes the thrombocytes or WBC, which has defense mechanism against infection by microbes or pathogens. Then comes the platelets. The platelets acts on injury to prevent blood flow. That is, they are coagulant in nature. They help in blood coagulation. Blood vessels play a vital role in circulatory system. There are mainly three types of blood vessels. First one is artery, which carries oxygenated blood from heart to other organs of the body. The capillaries, which permit the exchange of substances between the tissue and the blood. They contain valves. Then veins, which carry deoxygenated blood from different parts of the body to the heart. Then comes the lymphatic system. The lymphatic system, unlike the circulatory system, it is not closed type. This is an open system, and this doesn't work like the heart pumps blood throughout the body. This works by the muscle contraction of the body. It is a colorless fluid which contains excess water drained from the capillaries during the blood flow and some salt and vitamins. Lastly, the advantages of this process are very large. It helps maintaining normal blood pressure level. Then it allows exchange of oxygen and carbon dioxide inside the body and inside the cells and tissues. It helps in cell protection as it contains phagocytes and WBCs, which are phagocytic in nature, that they help to kill microbes and other pathogens which are foreign to our body. Then it helps in cell repair. It allows blood flow to the tissues and organs. Thank you for your patient hearing. I hope this was helpful.